I named him George. I would see him out of the corner of my eye, always in the same spot, always in the same outfit. Like, my son was, for the first 2 years of his life, this guy was around, and like any of Wyatt's little, he had very few toys that would have any electronic components, but anything that was left in that corner would turn itself on and off, and like the little walker thing with the beeps, the beepy horn, and the little race cars, like, turn itself on. I'm like, hey, George.
Battery glitch. It's just a battery.
But I never said anything. And at one point, I said to my landlord, I was like, I think we have a ghost. And she goes, my husband is standing there, and he looks at me and he goes, you've seen him too? And my neighbor goes, oh, we hear him. And we were like, yep. And I said, is he wearing a hat? He goes, in the coat? I'm like, yep. Hey, George. And my son would be on the changing table and he'd look over and he'd go, looking at something, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then one day he disappeared, and then our chimney stopped working. The smoke kept coming in the house. We had the chimney sweepers come 3 times. And then the 3rd time, he's in there with the flash. I was like, I don't know, it's like this weird fog up there. I'm like, yep, that's George, close the flue, we're done. And that was the end of that. Never used the fireplace again.
We have a winner. There's a weird thing about, well, there's a lot of weird things about my life, but I think as I'm approaching the later years of my life, God, wouldn't life be truly boring if this was it? That's the point to me. Too many miracles in my life, too many things that are unexplainable, too many things that I can just look at as gifts or help or nudges in wonderful directions and changes in courses and things that happen and visceral things that have happened around me. And that's when I get the giggles and I just go, yeah, I am not the center of the universe. I like to be, but I'm not. But genuinely and honestly, there's, as you say, there's this wonderful little place in my heart that just goes, yeah, why not? Why not? Because there's been so many joys and so many gifts in this life and so many circumstances that are totally unexplainable to me. And I'm very, very happy that I'm still alive and get to see him. So yeah.
Great question, thank you so much. Hi there.
My name is Melissa. Thank you all for coming. You all look amazing given the fact that you've been here for 2 days straight. My question to, specifically to Jensen actually, is, but here's my question. So obviously when Sam and Eileen is obviously communicating, Sam knows a little bit of ASL, did anything ever occur to you that maybe you wanted to do any of that on the show, or was that something that you didn't know? As in, like, obviously Jared had a bit of background of it. Is that something that you would have liked to have done on the show if given the chance? And yeah, that's my question.
The Latin?
Sign language?
Oh, sign language. Oh,
Yeah.
sign. Oh, yeah, thankfully they gave Jared all that stuff. They gave him the Latin, they gave him the sign language, they gave him, having to play Lucifer, and having to be soulless, and like, yeah, just give it to the kid. No, it was just kind of something that I think made more sense story-wise, because of Eileen's character, or because of Eileen and then Shoshana's character, and Sam having more of a relationship than I think Dean, and so it made more sense for Jared to be able to utilize that skill set. But and then I said Latin, same thing for that. Like he's such a nerd. He took Latin in school, and so he had, and I guess the writers found out about that, and so they just started giving it more to him. And I remember the first time like I had to do it, and I was like, it definitely made me appreciate his skill set more. I was like, oh, this is actually fairly difficult. Like I kept stopping like mid-take. How do you say the what is it? Exercise? He's like, no, that's not it. I'm like, say it one time. Yeah, that kind of stuff was a little out of my wheelhouse, so they gave a lot of it to him. But I mean, look, they had other challenges for me. Challenges that I never assumed would ever come up in conversation. Unfortunately, you know, this man was subject to be a part of one challenge that I never.
It was awful.
When the showrunner calls up and says, "Hey Jensen, can you dance?" I'm like, "Is that what you're asking Jared?" He's like, "No. He does the sign language and the Latin stuff, so we have to figure something else out for you. Can you dance?" And I'm like what? Like square dance? I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, no, like Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire. I'm like, no, what would ever give you the impression that I would know how to do that? And he's like, well, you and DJ are gonna learn how to do that. Is that cool? And I think
it was so casual also how they asked, hey, can you dance? Like, I can move. Okay, cool.
Okay, great.
A 3-minute choreographed tap dancing routine. And I was like, if I knew how to tap dance, I never would have survived. I grew up gay in the South. If you can do that, I would have been murdered in high school. I can't do that. But you were amazing though. Like, so they only gave us 1 hour of rehearsal on the schedule. Now we're going to do it for more than that. You stepped up for us. But the thing that I still have a hard time getting over, we were supposed to rehearse for the first time, the same time. You left set 15 minutes before I did. I got there and you fucking knew it. It was so annoying. Like, the cool thing and I did not know it until 5 minutes after we started doing it, for real. Is that you were like, we're going to do it over and over again and take this cane and hat home and knock over every lamp at the whole furnished living. And I did, and I got there. And I'm really glad, like looking back on it, what a cool thing that we got to be a part of.
It was amazing.
But it was scary as hell when they asked me, can you do this? I can tell you a little something. I see it, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so that was the kind of challenges that the writers threw at me. And I don't know, given between tap dancing and sign language, I don't know, I think I want to take that. I'll take the tap dancing.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi guys, one of my favourite elements of the show is the music. So I was wondering if you guys have a favourite needle drop of the show?
Tiger.
Mine is Poison by Bell Biv DeVoe, without a doubt. It was such a good entry song. So smart of them, and I loved that song when I was a kid. I was like, oh, I feel seen.
Not bad, Moon Rising.
So many.
I mean, there's so many. I'll give a couple, just throw them out there. One of my favorites was the end of Night Shifter, which was the bank robbery episode, where the brothers come out of the bank in full SWAT gear, and they walk to the car, and they played Renegade by Styx. And I think just given the episode, the way of the episode, that was just, such a good one. Obviously, Eye of the Tiger.
What was the one for Death? Do you remember when Death first appeared? With the slow motion shot?
Yeah,
that
so
aria sounding.
So that was yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you remember the slow mo?
Of course.
Yeah, but do you remember the first take? Remember Tim, the Steadicam guy? Remember Tim, the bareback? But most people you don't see because they used the second take of that, but in the first take they went across the 59 bubbleback Cadillac license plate, and the license plate from the first shot was caught, and it's bye-bye.
But
It was like those moments with that music, with that music.
By the way, you know who directed that episode? Phil.
It's
And Phil Segricia is a master when it comes to little details like that. And he, you know, I guarantee you, he put that license plate on there. That was his idea. I also think, wasn't the person who was singing Odette? Was it? Who was it? Jen Titus? Okay. I want to say that we used it again at some point, and Lisa Berry actually recorded it. Who picked up the second eventually. I could be wrong with that, but I want to say Lisa Berry recorded that. She did, right? Yeah. But I don't think it was the time when we saw Julia Blake Death. I think it was used later, right? It was when she was the Reaper. Yeah, and she recorded it in her voice, which, I mean, again, I think that was
It's extraordinary. I mean, but just Phil was brilliant at that. His editing skills are
I
just...
think some of these people need to do the panel.
Well, that's the best thing about, like, I'd be like, oh, what episode was it when and boom, people know it. So,
Really good.
oh, it's amazing.
When
I
I
could
did my-
use trivia to you guys all day long.
When I did my first panel, I was told by the cast, don't make up an answer because they already know it. So you just admit that you don't know it, come clean, and then somebody will yell at you. It's what freedom feels like. It's the freedom to- You don't have to remember anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are a couple of really great needle drops. And I mean, the show was, I will say that the show had a lot more than the earlier seasons of the show. And it wasn't for lack of trying, it was for lack of money. As we got a little older in age, the show got more expensive, and there was less money for post-production, which means less money to buy songs, and bands aren't giving away music for free. So unfortunately, it came down to a budget issue a lot of the times, and we can only afford, you know, maybe one song per episode, or one song every few episodes. What's that? Move to summer? It's August. I think we're there.
You could have sang the song.
Oh, I could have sang the song? I'll tell you, I got I got a little bit of mine in there, and they didn't pay me anything, so.
I remember you doing I'm Too Sexy for my show. That was phenomenal. That was truly phenomenal.
I've washed that from my mind.
But isn't it true, for all of us, isn't it true that no matter what, the moment, especially when we were in San Diego, but the moment that we hear Carry On and the opening bars for Carry On, it's just, I just think about it and it's like, we know what's coming, something is coming next. There's something about it that is such a codifying song for the show. It's just, to introduce the story so far.
Yeah.
It's
I
fantastic.
hear it anywhere in the world, I think about you guys.
Yeah.
Always, forever.
I hear it anywhere. I keep looking for a scream.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This might be our final question. We're going to check the time, but no pressure, no pressure.
Hi, I'm Abigail from Hungary, and my question is for Jensen. Once you said this suddenly took control of you, and how is it with Ben? It's sort of work.
So, I'm sorry, repeat that one more time. Sorry, it's just hard to hear here with the echo.
Once you said Dean suddenly took the control of you, how is it with Ben? Sort of work. Maybe silly question, but once you mentioned suddenly you turned like Dean and
How is it going from Dean to Soldier Boy?
yeah, how is it with him?
I'd be interested to hear what a lot of these folks have to say about like how to differentiate yourself from what you've been playing a role for so long, and then moving into something that you've been told specifically by the showrunner not to do what you've been doing. Because Kripke, who obviously knew Dean very well and was now creating Soldier Boy, he just very simply was like, yeah, just, forget about Dean. I want you to come up with your own. And I'm like, forget, I mean, I spent 327 episodes playing this guy that you created. Now you want me to just erase that? Yeah, that's what you know, he gave me some good comps, and I talked to him and I talked to Phil about, you know, giving me some ideas of maybe people or characters that I could kind of lean more towards and lean away from Dean. And so I'll say this, like, I had Dean down pretty well, I'd say, by the end. I didn't need to think about how I was going to play him. He was just right there, very easily accessible. Sometimes she would have to tell me to stop acting like Dean at home because my Dean would show.
Get your own water. Like,
No, that's just me acting like an actor. That's
no, with the voice.
Yeah.
And when you did Soldier Boy, it was during COVID, a lot of that process, so I would listen to it and think, oh, I still hear it. Because there's just little moments, you know.
That's just my voice. I will say that the best compliment I got after I turned in a few days as Soldier Boy, and more so, I think it was maybe a couple of episodes. I did get a very lovely email from Crippy saying how happy he was with what I was doing and to keep going, and then he closed out the email by saying, "I never once saw Dean." And that to me was that was something that just really helped me, gave me confidence enough to keep doing what I was doing in that space. But it is, I mean, it can be tough to kind of differentiate characters, especially when you're playing something that's so wildly different. You know, this is a guy who's from the 40s and 50s, and so I just kept watching, old interviews of Lee Marvin and try to come up with different ways of like making myself think about this guy. So I don't know. I mean, Mark, you've done a bunch of different characters. Sam, you know, heard all of you guys. Is there something that do you look for comps, or do you just try to find something inside yourself that is different from specific to like this character?
It's, for me, it's always in the writing of the script. You know, the script is the Bible for me. And by the way, having done so many different things, I remember coming on Supernatural, and you guys have hinted at it, but to directly say, the writing on this show was immediately extraordinary when I read the first script. And because it's so complex, and it's got so much depth to it, I can see, you know, and it's amazing, here you are doing hundreds and hundreds of episodes, and you still care, and you're stressing about it, and you want to know what Crypty thinks, and you want, you know, number one, a testament to how you stuck with it, and you cared, and you gave it everything you had all the way through, which is one reason why the show lasted so long. And two, when the writing's that good, it's hard. It's hard you want to fulfill it, and it implies all sorts of things that you want to reach, and it almost feels like you never will, but that journey and the effort informs the character. That's what I think, anyway. You don't impose yourself on it, it comes in through you.
The lack of self-aggrandizement is empirical, it's absolute. If you want to tell a story, which you do, which all of you do, I've watched all of you work, you want to tell a story that supersedes I want to look cool. I want to look cool is where you go back to the same. It's when you go, how do I tell this story? And when that question just goes, how do I tell the story? Then everything changes, and it's down to the writing and down to the wants and the love of the story and the love of what you want to convey. And I've been so lucky in my career that I've had so many things been given to me or even written for me, which is mind-blowing to me. that you're going, oh my God, what do they want from me? And I know Soldier Boy is like that for you, because I watched it, and I'm going, there ain't a spot of Dean in that. It's new, it's something, it's different, it's a fully fledged character, and that's what I expect from you anyway. You know what I mean? I just expect that from you, because you want to tell the story. You know, and that's what I think the difference is between the stuff that we like as fans is made with passion, it's made with love, it's made with heart. It doesn't always succeed, isn't always brilliant, but it's made with an honesty to itself. And as long as we honor that honesty to itself, then we as fans, we as lovers of that, truly embrace it and go, yeah, there's something here for me, you know? And I think that's the greatest gift we get.
You said, and I'm so sorry to tell you we are out of time, but speaking of passion and love, honestly, the passion and love and respect that you guys have for the Supernatural fans, not just here but worldwide, is really, really something amazing. And we want to thank you to all of you guys for loving the show and making this happen. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so very much.